All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to dive deep into the raw philosophy of building a winner's mindset. We're talking about the kind of mindset that helps you conquer the only opponent that really, truly matters, yourself.
We're kicking things off with this because, honestly, it's the foundation for everything else. It's not a suggestion, it's a command. See, before you can build anything, you gotta clear the ground first. This isn't just about thinking positive. It's about getting rid of all that mental static that holds you hostage. Fear, doubt, disbelief, those are the enemies inside.
And make no mistake, that's exactly what this is, a war. It's not against your competition, it's not against the world, it's a war against that voice inside your own head, the one that tells you to quit, the one that says you're not good enough. So think of this as your battle plan.
So, our first stop? It's all internal. Every single victory you have on the outside is born from a victory on the inside. You just can't control the world out there until you've gained control of the world inside your own head. I want you to think about your mind like a cluttered garage for a second. If it's just filled with junk, old excuses, past failures, all that negativity, there's no room to even park your car, let alone do any work. There's just no space for things like discipline or consistency to even take root. So the first step, always, is to clear out that mental junk.
Okay, this is the real gut check moment. We all have that voice, right? That inner voice that tells us the hard truth when we're taking the easy way out, when we're slacking, when we know we could be doing more. And the choice is really simple. You can either run from that truth your entire life, or you can turn around, face it, and actually use it as fuel.
This right here, this gets to the absolute heart of the ultimate scoreboard. It's got nothing to do with what other people think, not the money, not the fame, none of it. It all comes down to looking yourself in the mirror and actually respecting the person you see looking back. That's the only approval that ever really lasts.
Now, if mastering your inner world is the foundation, then what's the engine? What's the thing that actually drives you forward day after day? Well, it's discipline. But we have to make a really critical distinction between discipline and something else entirely.
Look, motivation is a feeling. It's incredible when it shows up, but let's be real, it's a fair weather friend. It's totally unreliable. Discipline, on the other hand, that's a choice. It's a commitment. It doesn't wait around for the right mood to strike. No, it creates its own momentum through pure, consistent action.
And that's the bottom line. It doesn't matter if you're tired. It doesn't matter if you're uninspired or just not feeling it. A disciplined person gets up and does the work anyway. This isn't about being some kind of robot. It's about understanding that your feelings don't get a vote on your actions. Period. This whole thing really just boils down to two essential pieces. Commitment. That's the decision that gets you to the starting line. But consistency? That's what carries you through every single step of the race, all the way to the finish line. One without the other is just a complete waste of effort. This is how you build discipline from nothing, not by waiting for a feeling, but by proving to yourself through small, daily actions that you're someone who shows up. Okay, so you've cleaned out the mental garage, you've fired up the engine of discipline, now you're in the arena. But what does winning actually look and feel like? I'm telling you, the reality might surprise you.
This right here shatters a huge myth about what it means to win. We have this idea that it's this constant state of victory and glory, but the reality, 90% of a winner's life is the fight. It's the grind. It's feeling like you're getting your teeth kicked in. 8% is just confusion and frustration, and that glorious moment of the win, that's just 2% of the entire experience.
And this is the pivot, the mindset shift that changes the entire game. If you're only chasing that tiny 2% moment, you're gonna burn out. But true winners, they're built for the 90%. They don't just endure the fight. They find their purpose, their joy, and their whole identity right there in the middle of it. The struggle is the reward.
So, what separates people when they're in that 90% zone? When everybody is facing adversity, when the pressure is on and the outcome is totally uncertain. What's the difference maker?
And at the end of the day, it comes down to this simple but kind of brutal truth. When all the talent is equal and the conditions are harsh, it just becomes a battle of wills. The person who's willing to endure more, to push just a little bit harder, and who simply wants it more in that critical moment, well, that's the one who wins.
But here's the thing, wanting it more is kind of useless if you don't know what it is. That raw desire, it needs direction. You need a compass, a clear, long-term vision that gives all the daily struggles a higher purpose.
So how do you do that? How do you burn that goal into your soul so it's always there? Well, it's a process. It's not enough to have some vague idea. You have to think about it constantly. You have to write it down. You have to talk about it. And, most importantly, you have to do something every single day that moves you one step closer to it, no matter how small that step is. What this all means is that every single thing you do has to be strategic. Every workout you do, every chapter you write, every call you make, it has to be a deliberate move in a much larger campaign. You're not just winning little battles for the sake of it, you're winning the battles that are going to help you win the entire war.
And all of this, it brings us to the final outcome, the transformation. Because when you master your mind, when you commit to discipline, and when you align all your actions with a long-term vision, you don't just achieve things, you actually become someone different.
You become an uncommon individual. This is the person who doesn't just go with the crowd or follow the path of least resistance. No, this is someone who stands for something, who has their own values, their own direction. They aren't afraid to go right when everyone else goes left, because they're guided by their own internal compass, not by popular opinion.
This right here, this is the final stage of the transformation. It's that moment when your discipline becomes so ingrained, so automatic, that it's no longer just a series of actions you perform. It becomes your identity. You don't just do the hard work. You are the person who does the hard work. And you know where that identity is forged? It's in solitude. It's built during the 4 a.m. workouts, the late nights studying, all those moments when no one is watching and no one is there to cheer you on. The true prize, the real trophy, is not something you can hang on a wall. It's the strength, the resilience, and the self-respect that you carry around inside your own mind.
So, I want to leave you with this one final thought. From the day you were born, a race began. But it's not against anyone else. It's a race between who you are today and the ultimate version of yourself, the person you have the potential to become. And the only question that really matters is, are you closing the gap? Are you winning?